video, I will be teaching you how I was able to convert this dashboard to mobile in 3 steps. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome. If you are new to my channel, my name is UiUx. I'm a UiUx designer and UiUx tutor, so I post videos every week on my YouTube channel to help beginners on UiUx design improve their design skill. So if you want to improve your design skill to 100%, so be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to get notified whenever I upload new videos. So before you start designing your dashboard, you have to make sure you set your grid. So for this grid, I'm making use of 8-point grid. So my columns are 4, my margin is 4, and I'm using a quarter of 4 for my grid. So the next thing we need to set up is our spacing. So I'm basically using the red square method. So the red square method is a method where I create red squares that are divisible by 8. So the first red square has a width of 8 and a height of 8. The second one has a width of 16 and a height of 16. How I was able to get this 16 is 8 plus 8 gave me 16. 16 plus 8 gave me the next number, which is 24. 24 plus 8 gave me the next number, which is 32. So I kept on adding 8 to each number till I got 48. So after 32, we have 40. So I'm basically going to be using this as my spacing. So you're going to be seeing how we're able to use this red square method to ensure alignment, ensure that my work, my designs are neatly done. So you'll be seeing how we're able to do that in a bit. So the next thing before we start designing is to create our mood board. So the best way to create mood board is to do a Google search. Since this is a mobile dashboard, so I did a Google search. The keyword I typed in was mobile dashboard UI inspiration. So the Google search filtered different places where I can get inspiration. I prefer coming to Google first to do a Google search instead of going to Dribble directly. So my reason for that is that most times when I go to Dribble directly to make a search, Dribble might not show me the exact inspiration I'm looking for. So I have to start from Google first so that Google can do the whole filtering either from Behance and Dribble and give me the exact information I'm looking for. So as you can see from my Google search, I was able to come up with this board inspiration that I can use to feed my visual eyes so that I can know how to structure mobile dashboard design. So lastly, this is the actual design. So the first thing I did here was to make sure I use my red square method to set up the spacing where my status bar is going to be. If you notice, in every mobile app, there's always a status bar. What I mean by status bar is the place where you can see your battery percentage and your Wi-Fi connection. So before you start designing, you need to make sure you give a space for that. Even if it's not, I didn't use it in this design, I ensured I give a space for that. And the space I gave for that was 32. So I made use of my red square method. You can see my red square method here. I made use of 32. I increased the width because in this scenario, I'm making use of the height of the red square method to ensure my alignment. So let me remove the red square so that you can see there's a space there. So I just left that space in case I want to add a status bar. So the next thing now, I need to set up my header. So if you look over here in the web version of the dashboard, this is the header. The header has this dashboard text here, a sidebar, and a profile image here where the user can click to see more about them. But in a responsive version of this dashboard, it's not going to be that way. So majority of the things are going to be done inside this hamburger menu. So it's when the user click on this hamburger menu, they are going to see more functionality. So as you can see here, I made sure that I still maintain the design pattern of the desktop version of the dashboard. So I made sure that my hamburger menu is seated inside a circle to make everything in line with the design, the original design that was used here. So as you can see here, I placed my hamburger menu inside a circle. I did the same thing with my profile. So my profile is not like the way it was here on the web version. So I just placed just the image. So these two are buttons. So when the user click on this, it's going to bring a drawer that's like a sidebar. You see how I was able to do that in a bit. So when the user tap on this image, they will see more information about their account. So mind you, I gave a spacing between the space for the status bar and where the header is being placed. So the spacing I used here was 8 pixels, and there's also a line here. So I gave a spacing between the line and this header here. One of the major reasons why I make use of my red square method is because it helps me to visualize the exact spacing I'm giving between each element. So I also make use of auto layout. You see how I was able to use auto layout in a bit. So I use spacing here. So let me show you what I mean. So if you look here, there is a line, a spacing between the line and this element here. This element are grouped together. So that spacing here is 8. So that's why I kept the small boxes. I use the small boxes that has width and height of 8 for this place. So you're going to see how all of them come out in a bit. So the next thing, we have a line here, and there's supposed to be a spacing between the line and this overview here and this filter here, where the user can filter by this for this particular analysis here. So after our overview and the filter here, so the next thing here is our data. So if you look at the desktop version of this dashboard, you can see the way the data was being represented here. This card, the way it is being arranged. So if you look here for a responsive dashboard, there are different ways to represent this card. You can either make them swipeable or arrange them in stacks like this. But I decided to go with this method of arranging each card on top of each other and making sure that each card are sitting on top of 2 columns of my grid. So you can see my grid here. Each card is sitting on top of 2 columns of the grid. So I also make use of auto layout for this, where each side, the top and bottom and the left part of the card is 18, and the right hand side is 40, so that there will be enough space in case this number is being increased. So I repeated the same spacing for each of these cards. So whenever you are designing, make sure you are make sure you are consistent in the spacing you are using. So as you can see here, I'm making use of the 8-point grid where all my spacing they are divisible by 8. And if I want to go lower, I can decide to use them, but that are divisible by 4 or 2. So if you have any question, or if you have any challenges on UI UX design as a whole, so you feel free to reach out to me. So if you have any challenges you are facing and you want me to create a video about it, so feel free to leave a comment below this video so that I can make a video about it. So yeah guys, so let's continue. So the next thing now is the table. So one of the major issues that we are going to face when creating a responsive dashboard is how to represent your table in a responsive design. So as you can see here, this is how I was able to come up with my table. So you can see the spacing around the whole content of the table. I made sure I made use of the same 18 that I used here for my card. That you can see the repetition in the spacing I used. I had not just choosing random numbers and making sure that all the spacing I did, they are all consistent. So as you can see here, this is the table what I'm explaining about. So you can see how the table here is very long. So one thing is that we're going to think of a way to represent this table in a way that when it's being designed, it's not going to confuse user. So another thing to also look at for in this table is the most important information that user has to fit. But right now, this is the responsive design for the dashboard, and not all the information being represented here can enter this responsive version. You have to represent some and break some out. I'll show you what I mean by that. So as you can see here, I represented just the name and status because those are the most important information that the user needs to see first. This project manager, due date and progress, it can come in later. Another most important information is also the progress, but I decided to go with the name and the status for the user to see first. So if the user wants to see more about this particular data here, they will have to tap on this three dot and it will take them to a pop-up, something like this, for them to see more information. So doing it this way is very easy for the user to see their data, is well organized for the user to understand what each data is talking about. So that was how I was able to come up with the table. And I didn't forget my filter, so I added my filter because as you can see here, there's a way the user can filter by project manager, and status. So I docked everything inside a filter icon. When they click on the filter icon, there'll be a drop down for them to select, either to select by project manager, or by status. So you can see the way I came up with the type for the table here. It looks very simple and very easy for the user to understand. So one major thing you need to bear in mind when coming up with a responsive version of a dashboard is that you need to represent your information in a way that the user is going to understand. They will look at it as a class and they will understand what each data is talking about, whether in form of cards or in form of table. Make sure you use font size that the user can see. And mind you, when designing any responsive version, when designing a responsive design, there are some font size they are supposed to use. You can decide to for your largest font size to be 32, 28, or 24. So if you have any question at all, don't forget to leave a comment below this video. I'm always available to respond to your comment. So the next thing now we need to design for is the overview progress. So this tool was already is already responsive. So I just brought them here and I scaled them down a bit for them to be on top of the grid. You can see here there's no much up to the done here. I just brought them here and I scaled them down. Another thing we also need to think of is how to represent this tag in a way that the user can understand what's talking and what is happening here. As you can see, we have like 4 tabs here and the list and the status here. So this is how I was able to represent that. I reduced the font size. You can make this bold a bit. So I just make this regular, reduce the font size. I made this 12 because this is a mobile design. So I made the font size of this 12, made the font size of status 8, and I make sure I keep them until then breakable straight so that in that can see each content clearly. So as you can see here, this tab is well spaced. When the user click on it, they will see all. Click on important, they will see all the tabs that are important. So that was how I was able to do that. And here is the final design. So I named this so that you can see how I was able to make use of the red square method. So after doing all of that, I made use of auto layer to align the whole element together. So as you can see, all of them is seated inside and also they are there with spacing is 32. So all these they are spaced with my red square method. So I'm going to press my Alt so that you can see the spacing that in here 24. That in here this one here is 20. So they're just a little pixel different. You can see here 8. You can see the spacing here. There was a status bar here invisible. Spacing between the status bar 8. We can see everything was coming out very neat and neatly done. So this is the version. This is the first part of the design needed to see. They have to swipe down for them to see the main one. So this is how it's going to be. So this is the pop-up when you either tap on this three dot or tap on any element of this project summary. Then this is the drawer or the sidebar of the dashboard, where if the user click on the hamburger menu to bring out in. So you can see this is the responsive design. Everything is quickly done. So thank you so much for watching. So thank you so much guys for watching. See you in my next video.